Do you resent your mother too?
No, my mom's been pretty awesome parent. She's always been there for me. She's always, she's always taking care of me.
Did she make any mistakes with you?
Mistakes as in?
Were there times when she would get on your nerves?
I mean, I think everybody's parents get on their nerves.
How about your mother?
Oh yeah, there were times where she's a little dorky. So there's times where, especially when I was younger and as a teenager, where her dorkiness would. But now her dorkiness, I love her dorkiness because it's like my dorkiness too, because I was raised by her, and so I kind of see my personality kind of shine through her personality.
Oh, I see. So she would get on your nerves at times. You would be angry about it, and then as time went by, you stopped being angry and became like her.
Well, no, it's not like came like her. I think it's more.
You said she just like you. You're dirty like she is.
Well,
No,
I was always like her, and it was.
You were always like her.
Yeah, because you kind of mimic the person.
You became like your mother.
Yeah, she's a pretty awesome person.
And so you became like her.
Yes.
And what does that mean to be like
she's
a woman?
Well, it's just the way she treats people, the way she carries herself.
You like being like your mother?
As a person, yes.
You do?
Yes.
And were you like your mother at all?
I think I have a lot of traits of hers, like behavior traits, and when I see those and I recognize those, the good and the bad, I try to observe them and see what's beneficial to my behavior and me dealing with things, and what is just something that I picked up that she might have picked up not knowing, and
Do you like being like her?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, maybe not 100%.
Have you forgiven her?
I don't really know if I think about it like that. I don't know if I think about I'm harboring something against her, but now that I think about it, I don't know if it's something that I have to forgive her for, because I don't know if I'm mad at her. I don't know if it's just something that she couldn't help, the behavior trait that she picked up and then I picked up.
I'm sure most of the time it is something that they can't help.
They can't help.
But they do pass it on to their sons and daughters.
For sure.
And you become like them.
And then you harbor that resentment.
Do you know that you become like whomever you're angry at? If you are angry at your mother, you become like her. You start to think, like Tom was saying, he's just like his mother. And he's like a woman and don't realize it. Because you become like what you hate. That makes sense, Tom?
It makes sense, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's how men become women. Because they have that anger and they become like their mothers. And the mothers are doing the best that they can, but they kill your innocence and they recreate you in their image. And now you feel attached and close to them, and you can't be honest with them unless you're angry at them. And then you'll go and get married, and then your wife would create, because you're going to marry your mother, and your wife would do the same thing to your children.
How do you break the cycle?
By forgiving your parents.
Do you think that if a person can only realize that that person needs to forgive that person, only if that person is grounded enough emotionally to even have that realization? Otherwise, the forgiveness won't come.
You mean the person that you need to forgive?
Yeah.
No, it will come because you don't want anything from them. You're going there to be set free from them so you can finally become yourself, who you are, not who they are. And so you go to them and you apologize for harboring that anger against them, realizing that they couldn't help themselves. And you just say, you know what, I'm sorry for being angry at you, but you did this to me growing up and I've been holding it against you. And now I'm just like you.
But
isn't part of who you are? Isn't that your parents make you part of who you are? Like growing up around.
But they're not supposed to, though. The parents are supposed to live a life of honesty and character, a life of principles, and the kids take on the principles, but not the personality of the parents. But when they're angry, you take on the personality of the parent.
If I go to jiu-jitsu every single day with Stan and my buddies, the stuff that we do at jiu-jitsu, that kind of personality is going to pick up. If I'm around...
I know, but you're not going to become Stan because you're not hating Stan.
Yeah, but parts of Stan's personality will rub off on me, and
only because
and my personality will kind of mold.
Right, because you're in that fallen state with anger, and so you become like your environment. You're never yourself. You become your environment, but you're never going to be happy becoming someone else.
It's funny that we were just talking about this exact thing on the way over here, and we were talking about how when people don't find a way to ground themselves emotionally or figure out how to do this, we tend to look at other people who act a certain way. So if
Yeah.
you see somebody that acts really confident and has a lot of style or something that a person admires about the other person, we tend to think that if I just mimic that person, if I just walk like him, talk like him, act like him, for some
Right.
reason, I'm just going to get these magical powers and I'm going to be him.
That's right.
You know?
But that's what angry people believe because they can't see and they're not themselves.